All right, round 3 showdown. I mean, look, the 40 or the flop shot's not that bad, I guess, Better than it was yesterday. At least it's only a quarter to first, right? So still not great, but I think if you want to play some showdown, that's a decent one to go play in, right? Let me yeah, well, you know what? I don't really want to walk you through data golf because this ain't Showdown Hoedown, right? I just spent plenty, like the last hour and a half building the stone for you, but we'll come back to that in a minute. Tomorrow does look a little spicier, right? Okay, I do want to show you one thing. As you can see, as always, I'm just so fucking prepared for this, right? Let's go over here to data golf, and this is part of being a good PGA DFS player is looking at trends, right? And what do we know about Showdown? Typically speaking, when all things are equal, conditions are easier in the morning. But for some reason, 2 days in a row, you can see the afternoon has had it quite a bit easier than the morning. And to think that that's just 2 days of a coincidence, I think you're fooling yourself. So I've even talked to 2 caddies today, and they have no fucking idea what's going on. They cannot pinpoint why this is happening, right? My best guess is the course just needs a little bit to warm up. It's a course that plays easier when it's 80 degrees as opposed to when it's 65 or 70 degrees. That could be my only thing that makes sense to me. This isn't that bumpy POA, which gets really tough to play on in the afternoon, so that might have a little bit to do with it, but you think that would just keep it equal. You wouldn't think that would give an advantage to the afternoon guys. So I'm not sure what's going on, but what I do need to know is that it needs to be accounted for because tomorrow's going to be sustained winds all day. Okay, and it warms up a little bit in the afternoon. You see, tomorrow's going to be quite a bit cooler than it's been the first 2 days. So I'm really, really leaning on guys that go out afternoon. Matter of fact, if you look at the stone here, you can see we lightly shaded all those guys going off at noon. I don't think you need to play everybody afternoon, but I would say the lion's share of your player pool should probably be guys that go out noon or later. A, they're guys who are playing better, and B, we've seen 2 days of that's 1 and 2. Fucking roll with it, okay? Well, we have 2 days of evidence now to see that is something, right? That the guys in the afternoon are scoring better, and we want the guys in the best scoring conditions. That's all we're trying to do, right? So, tomorrow I think it's going to be a little spicier. Scoring is going to be down across the board, and I think you're going to want guys who go out a little bit later, right? I think 11 or 12 o'clock will probably be about the best time to get out on the course. Now, let me change that. 12 to 1 o'clock, which is going to basically be all your guys that are, probably in that T10 to T20 range, right? Okay, so, I'm not going to go over here and look. If you want to, you just go look on live tournament stats, which, by the way, all of this is on the stone, right? You just go right over here and you say, oh, shit, man, look at that. The stone's right there. It's all the stats. We're just scraping that from data golf, right? Looking at that is the weather. And looking at the stone here, as always, I don't know of any injury watches, so we don't have anybody marked. We have our pivot play, some guys that are lower owned as soon as the editor colors. Let me tell him that. I'm going to send him a hateful text. Start coloring. If you can't see, you're getting to see how the sausage gets made here. We do all those colors, and then he fills in the rest with the middle color. Color, mother, father. I'm getting mouthy. I'm getting saucy. All right, so we have our pivot plays, right? Those are just guys that are going to be lower owned next to guys who are going to be higher owned. We have our optimized guys, our guys that are showing up in the optimizer more than they are going to be owned. That's called high leverage. And then I put a couple sleepers down here, right? A couple sleepers. From there, we have our cash plays, the guys in the green. We have our high upside guys that hit those thresholds more, and then we have our GPP. There goes the editor, just coloring on the spot. See, sausage gets made. Wants to know how the sausage gets made, and then boom, then it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened. No Hamilton fans in the house. Got it. Let me jot that down for next time. We got our ownership in there, color coded for you to make it easier on the eyes. Got our tee times along with the color coding, saying that the easier guys will probably be, or the better times are probably the guys going out the latest. We have their event score. We have their last round score. We have the or they could guys that could never do good after how they played today, or they could, okay, so to speak. We have our be careful guys coming off like nuclear hot rounds. Doesn't mean they can't do it again. Just know that like if you think you're gonna get that round again, chances are you ain't. By the way, I just realized this Oklahoma hat fresh. Dun 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 dun. Boomer Sooner, guys. All right, we have our approach series. Good approach is what percentage of their approach shots are giving them real birdie looks. Just their normal strokes gain data. True approach is if you take out their really, really incredible shots and their really, really bad shots, what was their true approach? To get that good median score. And so I really like to look at this true approach right here. It's a really good barometer of how well they were striking their irons during the round. The tap delta is how big of a difference that is. So let's just take a guy like Lucas Ebert. He had a terrible approach round, but really his true approach was slightly above average. So if you just take out 1, maybe 2 shots, he actually was pretty good on approach. Not pretty good, but above average, right? So like you can't just simply look at that and just think that you can draw these big conclusions from it, right? We have our short game regression. That's, basically if they had a bad round of short game today and they're normally a good short game player, well, they're very due for a good bounce back, right? Same thing with bad round regression. Good players who had a bad round, like Brandon Wu had a bad round today, so he's likely to bounce back tomorrow just based on his long-term talent. And then we just have their historical round 3 grades, how they play in round 3. We have our putting series, which is just like our approach series, all the same information there. And then we have our projections in there, which will also, of course, be loaded into the solver along with the ownership for you guys to make your lineups. And then we have our price relationship. That's how good of a price they are compared to their FanDuel price. That's all that is, right? And then we have the strokes gained data if you don't want to go get on Data Golf, right? For this previous round and for the event, that is the Rosetta Stone, that is the weather, that is a quick look at the contest, and that is all I've got for you tonight. I'll see you tomorrow and Sunday. Big weekend of football coming up. Go Sooners!